Hello, today I'm going to be talking all about cloches, also known as row covers. This kind of thing. They're tremendously useful bits of kit in the garden, especially when you've got plants at a slightly more vulnerable stage of life as seedlings or young plants, and at times of the year when the weather isn't that kind, so early spring and late autumn. Now this sort of thing is absolutely ideal for covering short rows of seedlings and just a few plants that you've just transplanted out. If that's not quite enough, you can go for the larger model, which is a big polythene row cloche like this one. This will cover, as you can see, the length of a veg bed, and it's like a little mini polytunnel really. You can plant anything you like underneath here. Now the cloches first come out in my garden in early spring, when I use them just to cover the bare soil. Might seem a little bit strange, but what this does is it warms up the soil, takes it up by several degrees in fact, and also dries it out a little bit. After it's been on the soil for 2 or 3 weeks, the soil underneath is nicely warm now, so you can take it off and then sow your seeds. And then straight after sowing, pop the cloche back over the top, and that will keep your seedlings lovely and cosy while they germinate, makes germination a lot quicker too, and it'll protect them after they're up while the weather's still a little bit dicey. Now, as well as helping you to sow seeds of early varieties of vegetable much earlier in the season than you would do otherwise, cloches come in really handy when you're planting out seedlings into the garden. Now they're making the transition from a nice cosy greenhouse into the cold environment of the veg patch, and you can soften that transition enormously if you use a cloche just to keep them a little bit warm while they're establishing themselves in the ground. So once you've planted them out, simply cover them up. Then at the end of the season, you can extend your harvest by several weeks simply by covering late cropping things like this chard with a cloche. Keeps them away from the worst of the weather and keeps them growing on strongly in that slight bit of extra warmth and protection so that you can carry on picking all the way into winter. Now plants growing in cloches do need a little bit more attention than those growing in the open ground. You'll need to water regularly and also protect against slugs, which like the cosy conditions under there just as much as your plants do. Also on warmer days, do remember to open up the ends and let a bit of air through. Now later in the season, you can do this more and more often until eventually when it's warm enough, you can remove the cloche altogether and let your plants grow on into the summer.